Let's do this.
Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
All right, welcome into a Friday the 13th edition of the JP Peterson Show. Having my scripts written by the lovely Ashley now. Oh, and it's going to be a spooky day here on the JP Peterson Show. Not really. We're going to have lots of fun picking games. We got lots of guests coming your way today. The great Dan Lucas from News Channel 8 will join us at 10:15. Always have fun chatting all things Tampa Bay sports with Dano. Scott Carter will join us at 10:30 from FloridaGators.com to preview the big must-win for the Gators, taking on Tim Ham's Texas A&M Aggies. And we'll also talk to Pat Burnham from the Osceola to preview FSU Memphis. So we got lots of good stuff. And Jeff Titoff's going to join us to do fantasy football, a new feature here on the JP Peterson Show on Friday. So get your popcorn ready, and away we go. Good morning to you, Tim Ham. How are you?
Good morning, JP. Good morning, Tampa. Good morning, football.
Good morning, football. Are the Aggies, is this a must-win for the Aggies as well as it is for there ain't many available wins on that Gator schedule. So you got one coming into town here, and they think they can get this one. For Billy Napier, if they don't get this one, where's the next one? I don't know.
That's how I feel about the Aggies.
Right.
Yeah, their offense is lost.
Yeah. So take the under in that one's what you're saying.
Definitely. Okay. Yeah, even if it's 20, take the under.
Let me write that. The UF under. I find out what that number is. There we go. Another one of my wonderful picks coming up on the show. Just every other pick I make, don't pay attention to it. Bucks props is the only thing I'm good at. So, but I'm really good at that. Really good at that. We made lots of money on that last week. All right, so let's get it going. That's the show. And let's get it going with a little bit of last night's action, Thursday night action. Always, another dog of a game. By the way, Al Michaels, does he really want to be there? Does he really want to be there?
Man, I was thinking about that last night watching that game. And
just does not give a shit. Like, let him, go to pasture for God. Get some young buck in there that can give it a little energy to the game. I was making the rounds last night, the James Cook touchdown. It's like, Cook in the flat. Takes it in.
Is it that he doesn't
care? The
care?
First touchdown of the game. Like, come on, man.
Do you think it's that he doesn't care, or is he just old and doesn't have it anymore?
Well, who cares? Either one. What does it matter?
Because we went through that with Pat Summerall, too. You remember? Pat Summerall lost it about 5 years before he retired.
Yeah.
And it was just bad. And Jack Buck, we went through the same thing on CBS Radio on Monday Night Football with Jack Buck.
He can't say goodbye, and nobody will force him to,
Poor Jack Buck. I'm trying to listen to Monday Night Football with him and Hank Stram on the radio, on the CBS Sports Radio when they were doing Monday Night Football. And I swear to God, he'd say, Marino back to pass. It's intercepted. It's Mark Duper. Touchdown. Like, what? Wait, who caught the ball? Like every pass play, I never figured out what happened.
Yes. Yeah. So anyway, but that was, but ever since he's been, I think he feels like, oh my God, I'm doing Thursday night football. This is what it's come to. Like, then leave.
But that was a big game last night.
It was a huge game, and that's the first touchdown of the game. And the Dolphins, it's like a huge game for the Dolphins. But anyway, the Dolphins get their ass kicked by the Bills again. That's 12-13, 12-13, and everybody talk. It's like the Hurricanes and the Dolphins. They're always everybody's darling. They're going to be the greatest thing ever. Now, the Hurricanes might have something, but history tells me no. Like history says, they're always overhyped, although this team looks really good. But one game against the Gators team and the Gators defense, it's not that good. So let's not go crazy. But, this Miami Dolphins team, every year they tell me how good they're going to be. And they're not. They're not. They're frauds. And they're just frauds. And they can't win games late in the season. And Tua is completely overrated. When they paid him all that money, I'm like, well, okay, what about the concussions? Well, here we go again last night. And I know everybody else is like, oh my God, Tua's dying. He's going to be dead. Like, I turn on ESPN this morning. I thought he did die. I thought he died. I'm like, oh my God, he died.
They're so
Like,
over the top.
I was because I got in to get up like 3 minutes late, and I'm like this, and here's Greenberg with that somber tone of, I'm like, oh crap, did he die? Did he die on the field? And I'm like, oh no, he got up and walked off. Okay,
Yeah, he's just concussed again.
I mean, I swear to God. And then everybody's like, oh, the NFL has to stop him from playing football. He's going to die on the field. He's going to. But Jesus. I mean, let's not. Can we just hold on, folks? We went through concussions for, the first 40 years of football, and nobody cared. And I understand that was not the right thing. Okay. But now it's just this overhyped thing. We know what it is. We know there's protocols now. I think the NFL has done a really good job of getting a hold of this after doing a horrible job of hiding the information from the players, and that's why they got sued. And I think everybody, they misconstrue what's going on now. And football players want to play. And I hear so many people this morning going, the NFL has to stop him from playing, whether he wants to play or not. I don't get that. They have their protocols in place. Go do the protocols. When he's ready to come back and play, if he wants to play, let him play. And I don't understand that this rush to control everyone's life and all these paternalistic things that we have to. If he wants to play and he's cleared to play, he can play. If he doesn't want to play, take your guaranteed money and go home. I'm not, it's as simple as that. I don't think we need to go into all this melodrama about what's going on here. And we know there are plenty of people that have had concussions that are doing just fine. I think Troy Aikman's, he's going to be all right. Tim, you're in Dallas. Can you tell me, is he going to be okay?
He's pretty coherent and successful, and his brain's fully functional. He doesn't always say the right things, but at least he knows what he's saying when he says it, and that's okay.
John Lynch,
and you know who else? Who else?
Okay.
Another Dallas Cowboys quarterback. Roger Staubach had to retire.
Is he okay?
You know what? He's a billionaire because of his real estate business after football. He's pretty fine. And you know what?
He's 95 years old.
There is another guy in the NFL right now that is going through the same thing that no one talks about, JP, with concussions, and that's Cleveland cornerback Denzel Ward. He suffered his 5th career concussion in training camp. And still could play. He passed all of the protocols and everything, played in week 1 against the Cowboys, got his bell rung against the Cowboys. Wasn't a concussion, but it's not nearly as widely as promoted and talked about as Tua because he's not a quarterback.
Exactly.
And he's not the sexy subject for ESPN to go, oh, this Cleveland Browns cornerback needs to retire for his own safety and his own health. Nobody cares that Denzel Ward is still playing football, and he's had 5, almost 6 now concussions.
It's I'm not trying to be unsympathetic or crass. I'm just like, can we just, we know what it is. We don't need 17 former NFL players coming on and telling us this is a life and death situation, and he almost died on the field. I mean, that was Damar Hamlin. Okay, that happened. He actually did die on the field. I think you should be more concerned about all the players that are falling out with cardiac issues 10 times more than they ever have. How about you start talking about that and looking into that? That's much more severe, and people are actually dying of it. So maybe you should pay attention to that a little bit more, but we know why that won't be done. So enough. So Tua, and as Christopher Cole says here quickly, yes, Tua needs to slide more. I mean, what are you doing, bro? I turned the game off before it happened, to be quite honest. So when I got up this morning, I saw, I hear I'm like, oh, he died on the field. No, he didn't. Oh, let me see the play. I'm like, what are you doing, bro? Like, what are you doing? The game is over, and you're putting your head down and running into a defender. I mean, what are you doing? Of all people. Oh, but he's so competitive, and he wants. All right, I get that, but don't make that throw, number one, and don't put your head down. I mean, not smart.
Here's how it went on TV this morning, right? Because everybody knows I'm a big fan of Good Morning Football. It's not a part of the ESPN family.
Yes,
I love every one of the hosts. I love Jamie Erdahl. Kyle Brandt's one of my favorite people in the whole world. Peter Schrager's amazing. They've had Manti Te'o on and off recently. Dude, and
Yes.
and I'm not a fan of his, but he is surprisingly good on TV for me.
He is. He's
but
really
look,
good.
If you went
Not very good
into
picking girlfriends, but he's good at analyzing
got
TV.
a
Really
super,
good.
super hot for real wife right now, though. She's pretty smart.
She's real?
She's real, yeah.
Nice. See how much he's grown? See how much he's grown?
But he still looks like he could play,
What
too.
do you mean you forgot that? That's the only thing the dude's known for.
I know, I forgot about that.
The original Catfish. Oh, my God.
But if you tuned in to Get Up on ESPN.
Do yourself a favor. All right, before I'll let you talk after this, but do yourself a favor and go watch his interviews from his bowl game talking about his girlfriend.
I know. I remember now. I remember now.
All right,
yeah.
Continue.
That's why he didn't win the Heisman, right? He finished second to Johnny Football. Anyway, so if you turn on Get Up, they open with the somber music. Mike Greenberg.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Somber morning in the NFL is, we have to announce.
I really thought he was dead.
The near death of Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa as he was injured in a play on Thursday Night Football against the Bills. If you tuned in to Good Morning Football.
Shocking the world. Just should we play football anymore? Yeah. Should the NFL stop playing football? Should they put the flags on? It's a life and death situation. I'm like, he's dead. Oh my God, he died. Oh no, he got up and he
got up and walked off the field.
Oh my bad.
And if you tuned in to Good Morning Football, like I do at 7 a.m. Central, 8 o'clock Eastern every day.
So much smarter.
Every weekday. They do their little intro, introduce everybody. Kyle Brandt comes on to get the graphic on the screen. Tua concussed, left the game in the third quarter. Kyle Brandt comes on. He's like, Tua, it's called to slide. Feet first.
Thank you.
It protects you. Learn how to do it. That's how they treated the situation.
Thank God. So he didn't die. All right.
He didn't die, JP. He's not dead. He's not dead yet.
I was more concerned about DeMar Hamlin dying again on the field than I was.
Ironically, the player he hit to get concussed was DeMar Hamlin.
I know. How about that?
That's crazy.
We don't talk about that at all.
Yeah, we're not allowed to talk about
Rick
that.
is in rare form this morning already.
He's just
love. ESPN probably said if it wasn't for the Miami police and Trump living in South Florida, that Tua wouldn't have been concussed.
Oh, Rick.
They got the agenda writers in the back, Oh, I think we can make something of this. Wait a minute. Let me send the notes to all the hosts so they can do this properly. Kirk Herbstreit, make sure you say Florida State sucks. Okay, good. We're good. Yes. Coming up, those suits up on the 8th floor, man. They gotta have their say every moment of every day. So Tua survived the concussion. He'll probably be back and playing, but I don't even know if that's a good thing for the Miami Dolphins because he's just not that good. I mean, he has moments. But in over the season, getting in cold weather, all that stuff, but that's their problem. That's the Dolphins.
I posted on X last night, right after the concussion. Who's the bigger idiot? Me for picking the Dolphins to win the AFC East this year, or Tua for not knowing how to slide?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
No, it was a resounding. I'm the bigger idiot, but it always is.
Tua. No, I'm gonna have to go with Tua in that one. Just ridiculous. So, and by the way, the Bills. I was looking at this graphic of all the changes that the Bills made, and they were like, "Ooh, they did lose a lot. A lot." But I'm wondering, are they better? Sometimes maybe that rift between Diggs and Josh Allen was reverberating through the locker room, because it kind of looked like they just peeled apart at times. And maybe
did the Vikings get better when he left too? I think they did.
But the Texans did pretty well week 1. But
we'll
wait till week 2 or 3 when he gets 3 targets.
Yep.
Because Nico Collins and Tank Dell are killing it.
Yeah.
Right. And he's getting all the coverage. And we'll see what happens. Could go a little bit south. So that's what happened last night. The Bills are still good. The Dolphins are still awful. And poor Dolphin fans. And we'll see what happens later on. All right, let's go to the Bucs. Good God. I have the injury report right here. Holy shnikes. It's not good, my friend. For either team, though, if you're looking at this. So, and I've said this already. I think this injury report's going to kind of determine what happens in this game. Luke Gedeke came up with a concussion, okay? and he did not practice at all yesterday. And I'm going to play a little sound here from Tristan Wirfs that tells me that he might not play at all. Tyke Smith came up with an illness, which KJ Britt probably had earlier in the week. So it looks like there's a bug going through and I was in the locker room yesterday.
Uh-oh.
Without a mask on. Oh my God.
JP's going to show up on the Monday injury report for FanStream Sports.
Maybe ESPN will have a funeral for me on air like they did for Tua today.
Somber day in internet radio this morning. It's in Tampa. Radio host JP Peterson fell ill.
And he went into the locker room. I got MRSA. Sorry. Just kidding. Zion McCollum, it looks like he's going to play because he did practice yesterday, so that's good. Antoine Winfield Jr. is obviously out. Kalijah Cansey, again, did not practice. This is very, very bothersome with the calf injury. So let me play this one from Tristan and listen to the end of this as he talks about going up against Aiden Hutchinson and Marcus Davenport, who they got from
to not let him get going in the rush.
Oh, did that not? Why'd you stop?
What I learned about him?
Yeah.
I mean, I played Davenport a couple of times when he was with the Saints. Almost played him with the Vikings last year, but he was hurt, a little ankle injury. But no, I mean, Aiden Hutchinson, he's an Energizer bunny. I said that a little bit ago. He's got great effort, long guy, big guy. He's bigger in person. I don't know if you guys seen him in person. He's bigger in person, but the big speed to bowl guys. Aiden's got a great spin inside. You got to be aware for that. Marcus is a big, heavy guy. Wants to go speed to power. Do a little bit of inside moves. But I think shutting his power down is the biggest thing. He's got, he just like trying to run through you, lining up wide. I think the biggest thing for me, me and Schooley is just getting our hands on him, doing the best we can to not let him get going in the rush.
Yeah. So he said me and Schooley.
Yeah.
So that tells me that Luke probably won't be playing, and that's a problem because now Aiden Hutchinson can wreck the game from his spot, and the Bucs are going to have to account for him with a running back or a tight end, which takes somebody out of the pattern. Obviously, you just can't let Aiden Hutchinson ruin the game, and that's going to be a tough matchup. Penei Sewell is also hurt though, so may give the Bucs an opening there, and they're down two safeties as well, Kirby Joseph and Afiatu Melifonwu.
Both of those guys were out of practice on Thursday.
I just vomited on myself. Yeah.
Gesundheit.
Thank you. All right, so with that, let's bring in our good friend Dan Lucas from News Channel 8, who covers all things Buccaneers, the Buccaneers official station. What's up, Mr. Lucas? How are you?
JP, man, you just I think that's the headline this week. Kind of freaking out over this right tackle spot.
Yes, I Melifonwu'd all over myself.
Yeah. Tell you what, Bucs fans could be get a bag ready in case you got a Melifonwu on Sunday, in case Hutchinson has 2 sacks in the first half, so you can.
Did you see week one? Did you see week one with him? That dude.
Yeah. You know what you like to that Sunday night game that I was impressed the way that I thought the Rams were resilient in that game.
They were. Matthew Stafford especially, that dude.
Yeah. Well, so and my reason I mentioned that, the Rams took the lead in that game. It was the Lions that had to force overtime, and then I thought, with the school taking all the reps this week at right tackle, I'm like, you know what? We're going to find out a little bit about Baker, I think.
Yeah.
Is he, and Liam Cohen as well. They mentioned chipping Hutchinson and helping out school, and also Robert Haynes is going to get a little bit of time there, I think, as well, because they're going to try and have him.
He's going to be the swing tackle.
Yeah. So be a little bit creative and give Baker a chance to either have quick releases or have the ability to move around and try and avoid him and extend the play if you can. We'll see, but it hurts. I think it's going to hurt the run game more because you're going to have to contribute, to the blocking so much more with the back. Maybe keep a tight end in just for the blocking purposes. They're going to have to be creative. At least they've had all week to think about this. But I'm telling you, there's no way Gaddicky's going. Hasn't been on the field.
Yeah, and that came out of nowhere too. I think what happened was he started watching film of Aiden Hutchinson, and his head got a headache, and then it's like I'm concussed now. I don't want to do
exactly.
Thank you very much.
Exactly. It's like when you get
No, he would not pull a Devin White. No, Gedeke wouldn't do that, but
Gedeke's he's a man. That dude's I mean, we're talking Midwest. What'd you eat today? Meat.
Glass, glass, and a couple of nuts and bolts. That's what I had to eat today. What'd you have to eat? You little wuss.
So it surprised everybody. And the other thing you mentioned was this little illness that's going around. There was somebody last week that was dealing with it as well earlier in the week, and then Britt had it, and then sounds like Tyke Smith. So that's it's life in a locker room. That happens. Right. Stinks when it does, but it does happen. But the right tackle thing has become.
Yeah, that's a problem. Baker threw. I was reminding myself, threw for 348 last year in that playoff game, and had the 2 picks, obviously, but 3 touchdowns. And this line's, and Matthew Stafford, despite having a terrible offensive line, I think Cooper Kupp had 75 receptions last week in that Godwin slot. So, and the Lions may be down 2 safeties plus they've added Carlton Davis, which is another plus for the Buccaneers because he'll drop 3 picks.
Shocking. He got hurt. He hurt his chest last week.
He hurt his chest because the ball hit him right in the middle of his sternum and he dropped it. That's how he hurt his chest.
When he was laying on the ground, I remember going, "Is that Carlton Davis?" I'm like, dude, just get up and go deal with it on the bench where we don't have to see this.
When I saw the chest injury, I had to laugh. I'm like, yeah, because that's where the ball hit him, right? That he dropped and fell on.
I don't know.
God.
Yeah, no, I do remember that in the playoff game. The pass rush got to Stafford after a while, or Goff after a while, and but he was throwing all over this defense. To me, it's one of the reasons that they tried to revamp this defensive backfield that game.
Oh, absolutely.
And there were many examples during the season, blown leads and all that we've talked about. But that game, how can we advance further in the playoffs? We can't have teams throwing on us like they did.
Yeah, I think the Bucs were 26th in pass defense last year. And and this is why the Kancey injury really bugs me, Dan, because I was expecting him to start this season as he finished last season, and he was unblockable in both of those playoff games.
Yeah.
And the Lions, when they see him on the injury report, they got to be doing somersaults. And he didn't practice either day and was late add to the injury report last week. And it's the same calf muscle.
Yep.
I'm no doctor, but this one really hurts, Dano. For the Bucs to have a special season, I think that Kancey and Yaya have to be big factors working together.
Yes.
And
agreed.
Until Kancey gets out there, what do we got?
I just don't understand, the 2 soft tissue muscles that will drive you nuts are the calf and the hamstring.
Mm-hmm.
And you name a team in this town, and I'll give you. Remember when we had to sit through Evan Longoria's hamstring issues, and it's just this chronic to a point, and I don't know how to avoid it, but Kancey's not going to be on the field this week, and he's with a calf. I mean, until you see him even become limited, you can't even think about week 3 at this point. It's very unfortunate. And, last year, he started game 1. Remember, he missed all of camp with the calf. Then he started game 1. He made a play immediately in the game, and he was gone.
Yep.
And didn't play again until week 6, I believe.
Yeah.
Here. So, yeah, he's got to get on the field. We talked. It's kind of been a selling point of this defense because I thought Vita Vea, all through camp, Vita Vea was the most dominant defensive player, especially in the joint workouts. The one practice I saw against Jacksonville, the padded practice, the Jacksonville guys wanted nothing to do with Vita Vea.
No.
He's pushing guys 6 feet backwards. And then remember in his one series in the Dolphins game, the preseason game.
Yeah. Oh, that poor center.
He pushed I think the center is embedded inside the pirate ship. And so I thought, man, wow, with Vea and
those
Kancey,
2? Yeah.
Yeah. So it just but it doesn't work without both of them. So that's what's alarming a little bit. I do hope that we get to see we get to hear the names a little more of the outside linebackers this game because this is not a Jaden Daniels game where he's going to dart and run all over the place. I think there's there's opportunities for these guys.
What was your overall take on Week 1? What did you learn about this team from the Buccaneers?
Well, the offense is better than I thought it was going to be.
Mm.
So I think that this plays into the situation with Gedeke. Can they overcome that kind of setback, which happens to every team? But I mean, the efficiency. I know it was such an overused word last week, but man, just watching Baker select and have the time to select, and the throws he was making, particularly on the third downs to Godwin, where he was able to locate him in the single coverage. And that's, you would think that with the Lions admitting they're going to try and dedicate all resources they can to Evans on Sunday, there's going to be opportunities for Godwin, maybe even Cade Otton. This could be a good day.
McMillan.
This could be a good day for Baker if he's on his feet. So I was very impressed with the offense last week. And I'll tell you, I thought Rachaad White was fine. I know Bucky Irving he's catching on, and he is pushing Rachaad for sure. But I thought Rachaad was fine too, particularly catching passes. So the two, I'll call it the 1-2 punch of the running backs. I was very impressed with them.
Yeah. And I think also Liam Cohen did a fantastic job, and Baker even said that he didn't have to check hardly at all, because the plays were all good. I mean, and that's, I think it's kind of a little overlooked. It's great to have that in your back pocket, that you can check to certain things. And maybe Washington was playing a little bit more vanilla defense because they had so many new guys out there in their defense. So maybe that was part of it. But, I think Liam's debut is the kind of the headline of this whole thing, because the offense just looks so multiple, and the running game was better than the yardage would indicate, especially late in the game when they needed it. And I think those were the two biggest, I think, new things that I saw. Your thoughts?
Yes, I agree. And what I want to see now is I want to see Liam take the next step. We're acting like he's never called a play before.
Right.
I mean,
exactly.
he did. He actually, when Sean McVay was kind of trying to save their season a couple of years ago, he did relinquish a little play calling to Liam Cohen. And that's where the Baker Mayfield relationship just took off. And that move coincided with Baker's arrival, and what was it? Baker shows up, meets Liam Cohen, and 2 days later he's playing.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of thing that you're connected for life. So
yes,
those guys will be connected forever, and that's why that rapport and relationship is there. Then he called just a heck of an offense at Kentucky last year. If you go through what Kentucky did. So he's been under duress, and I guess that's my point is I think he's going to be under duress this Sunday, and it won't be as smooth as we would like it to be. There's noise, all those factors going on the road. Aiden Hutchinson, there's going to be big plays for the Lions defense. So can Cohen overcome that on his role and get it into Baker's ears as fast as he can, and something that's going to set this team up for success? That's the next step for Liam Cohen, and I'm curious and interested and kind of excited to see it happen, because I think Cohen's a good one. So we'll see what happens.
So you chat with Todd Bowles every week for News Channel 8. What did you learn this week? And tell us a little bit about your News Channel 8 weekend coverage plans. What you guys got going?
Well, from the coverage plan standpoint, we're heading up to Detroit, the Motor City, Saturday. Can't wait. Get there a little late. We're going to hopefully get our work out of the way first, and then the Tigers and the Orioles are playing Saturday night. I'm going to try and sneak into
nice.
America. Yeah, I've walked by that stupid place like 6 times, never been in it.
Yeah.
So, check that off the list. Yeah, they're all nice. But so hopefully catch that before we go to the game Sunday. First time I have been in Detroit in a while where it's not single digits degrees.
Yes.
So that'll be nice too. That'll be a good factor.
There's some interesting establishments over the bridge, I've heard, in Windsor.
Yeah. Yep, you go into Windsor or even stateside if you venture through Greektown, into the darkest holes of Greektown.
Yes,
I'm not sure.
Yes.
Maybe that's a bad choice.
It's been a long time since I've been to Detroit. I can't. It's been. I've never been to Ford Field. I've never even been to the new field. So
no. It's that little complex area. They've done a decent job downtown there. I'm not the biggest fan of going up there, but it's what you make of it, my friend. So it'll be
have any
good. But,
thoughts on your Seminoles before I let you go?
ooh, well, let me tell you, I don't know. I don't know where to start. I'll tell you this, because I'm sure it's been, all the topics have been hit ad nauseum. But what I'm telling people is this: between FSU and Clemson this year, you're seeing a study and if I'm a college football coach anywhere, this is a study in how to navigate this transfer portal, NIL era. On one end of the spectrum and the other, you got Mike Norvell, who I think he thought he was just plugging holes, but he went a little heavier in some key spots than he thought. I think it's to the detriment of it. I think it's to the detriment of the future. I think there's guys on the depth chart there are pretty pissed.
I agree.
And that there might be a little bit of resentment there. That's my opinion. The other
I
side
agree with you. He's nailed the portal for 2 years and did a great job, but this year, and that's the portal. You're not going to hit every year. You're going to make some whiffs.
Correct.
And I think I agree with you. The difference is he's got some really good high school players that he's recruited that he didn't need to go get their replacements in the portal, and we'll start at quarterback. There's no upgrade. I mean, Brock Glenn, and let your 4- and 5-star quarterback fight it out and see who's going to be the quarterback of the future and keep your team together. That's what he did with Travis. With Jordan Travis, when he could have gotten Max Johnson, he could have gotten a bunch of transfers to come in, but he knew that Jordan was the heart and soul of the team, and he went with him and he got better. And it was that togetherness and family atmosphere that got them 13 wins. And they had some really damn good players that went on to the NFL, obviously. So I think it's the reverse this year.
Yeah,
Fair?
I do think that we'll see I think you'll see a bounce back and a recovery of these Marvin Jones, Jr. and the defensive side will probably bounce back a little bit here as the season goes along. But I'm worried about the quarterback play, and I'm worried about guys like Luke Kromenhoek who are sitting there.
Exactly.
I mean, what is this kid supposed to do? I'm not saying throw Kromenhoek out there to preserve his future, but I mean, if I'm in Kromenhoek's
I'd like to see
shoes,
Brock Glenn start the game.
Yeah, I mean, Kromenhoek could be gone after this year, and we'll never know his potential. So that's my point. Then the other end of the spectrum is Dabo, who has refused to address the portal, and that comment he made where he didn't see anybody good enough for his team. They're must be good enough for Kirby. I don't know what the Kirby must suck. Georgia must be terrible.
Working pretty well at Georgia and other places. We just kicked your ass.
That's the two ends that you're seeing if you want to study how this works and doesn't work in college football. And I hate it for all my Noles, but this is going to be a long year. And unless
they beat Memphis,
I think they do. I think they get past them. And that's
we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I think the spread is 5.5. Florida State.
It was 6. It started at 6.5, so it's come down to 5.5. FSU does not deserve to be a favorite against Memphis, but that's
but this is for FSU. This is a losable game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Until they do anything, until they tackle somebody, I can't say they're going to until I see them do it. That's kind of the attitude I'm taking now. All right, Dano, thanks, buddy. Appreciate you. What time's the pregame show? 11 o'clock Sunday morning?
No, we will not be on before. We'll be on late Sunday night after Sunday Night Football.
Okay.
Stay up late with us. A lot of fun. We had a lot of locker room reaction, everything from Baker, Todd Bowles, guys in the locker room. So a lot of analysis too. So it's a lot of fun late Sunday night. Stay up. Get your last dose of football before you have to drag your ass into the office Monday. You
guys still going from Sunday Night Football to a news block and then the sports?
Yes.
Like you're not going right into since you're up there in Detroit. We gotta see how many pipes got busted and if there was a water spout in the bay before we go. So we go right from football to local news that nobody cares about and then to football.
I've had that discussion.
Okay.
I've had that discussion and I ended up I walked out of the
I'm
office
getting you in trouble. My bad. That's me.
All right.
That's the old.
I thought to myself, if NBC is handing you a 6.5 rating, which for local television, it's pretty darn good.
Yeah. And you go right into Bucks coverage with you standing in Detroit. Yeah.
With a football audience clinging on to the last bit of Sunday Night Football, and you hit them with the Bucks. You might actually hang on to that number a tad.
I'm just saying.
JP, just write a strongly worded letter. That's all you need to do.
Okay. I'm just trying to help. I'm trying to help. The
and
ratings.
Don't throw me into the mix. I'm just giving you mathematics.
I'm just,
you can make your own opinions. I'm just giving you the math.
I'm just saying. All right. Thanks, Dano. Appreciate it, buddy. I'm never coming on again. I just got him in trouble with it. Okay. That's me saying it. Me. So blame me. I know, it's terrible. I'll tell you a story about that later. I'm going to hit a break. All right, we're going to hit a break.
Yes.
Scott Carter's coming on next from FloridaGators.com. We're going to talk about their quarterback situation. Is Graham Mertz really going to play over DJ Lagway? Are you serious? Well, apparently. We're brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVESLawGroup.com. Big Gator fan. I know he wants to see DJ Lagway. Scott Jeeves does. I think he's done with Graham Mertz like every other Gator fan because he's smart. But the Jeeves Law Group, if you have any legal questions whatsoever, they will do a free case evaluation for you. Just go to their website, JEEVESLawGroup.com. Contact them through the website, email them, or phone them. Tell them you heard it on the JP show, and they'll give you a free case evaluation. How about that? Free legal advice. Back in 3. Scott Carter, stay with us. Celebrate August with the dazzling green hue of peridot, known for its vibrant and refreshing sparkle. Yes, that's the birthstone of August at the Gold and Diamond Source. Explore the Gold and Diamond Source's stunning collection of peridot jewelry, showcasing the gemstone's unique glow and versatility in rings, necklaces, and earrings. Peridot's distinctive color makes it a standout choice for any occasion, adding a touch of elegance and charm to your ensemble. Enjoy 15% off when you shop August Gems online only. Stop by the Golden Diamond Source to experience the allure of August Gem and let their expert staff help you find the perfect peridot piece. It's the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Olmsted Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. Hey, it's football season, so we welcome back the FSU Football Report every Monday and Friday on the JP Peterson Show, sponsored by those huge FSU fans at Italiano Insurance. They'll save you money as well. Just do a quick insurance checkup, 813-877-7799. They just saved me $500 on homeowners insurance. Who's doing that? Yeah, they just shopped it around, found a better, cheaper company, and we got a cheaper price. And business insurance. Make sure you're covered or you could lose your personal wealth. That's 813-877-7799. ItalianoInsurance.com. Go Noles.
Hey Tampa Bay sports fans, this is two-time LPGA major champion Jane Geddes here. After winning the U.S. Open and 10 other LPGA events, I wanted to try something completely different. So I came right off the top turnbuckle and landed in the crazy world of WWE. And yes, you heard that right. That's WWE. Working for the Vince McMahon as the VP of Talent Relations for the company. Now, though, I want to work for you. Everything I've done in my life, I've done with incredible passion. And now I've turned my focus to leading the best real estate team in Tampa Bay, the Geddes Gordon Group with Keller Williams in South Tampa. If you're looking for a new home, an investment property, or looking to sell your current home, we will give you major championship level service. When you choose Geddes Gordon Group, you become part of our inner circle, like family. So if you're looking for a few golf tips or a golf course view, we're going to stripe it right down the fairway. Call me at 813-485-6808 or go to GettysGordonGroup.com, or again, give me a ring at 813-485-6808.
JP here for Third Generation AC and Plumbing. And Third Generation really says it all, folks. The owner, my friend John Rodriguez, has been in the AC and plumbing business since 1995. They built their business on honest assessments and doing great work on time for a great price. Simple, right? Did you know many AC techs are incentivized on big commissions to sell new AC units and you might just need a drain cleared? So if you want someone you can trust, that's John Rodriguez in Third Generation Services. Check out the 5-star Google reviews. If you have a plumbing or AC emergency, call 813-961-8024 and a human will answer the phone. That's 813-961-8024 or go to thirdgenerationplumbing.com.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, one of South Tampa premier traditional Italian restaurant. We were recently voted number 3 on Open Table list of Tampa Bay's top 10 restaurants. We're very proud of that because we take great care of preparing each dish by hand with homemade sauces, pastas, only the freshest local ingredients. You won't see the big institutional vendor trucks pulling up to our back door. We get our seafood from local vendors. Sometimes I even drive out to Topper Springs and pick out our daily catch right off those boats. So stop by and say hello. Try our traditional lasagna, the fresh veal, some of our signature dishes like capelli al granchio, that is angel hair with lump crab meat, our branzino, that is a sea bass. We're located at 4205 South McDill, and you can make a reservation on Open Table and read all the great reviews. See you soon. Ciao. Grazie.
Let's go. Right now. Back to the show on FanStream Sports.
Ciao, grazie. Love my Cafe Paradiso. What was that? Oh, my chin. There we go. Yeah.
You need to grow one of these. That way they can't see your chins.
Well done. Hey, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Our good friend Chris Lugo. Get your testosterone right, get your nutrition right, and get your Gator fandom right. Another Gator fan. Oh, Gator fans as our sponsors. I love that. That's because we're so even-handed here. That's why we do this. Bay Area Modern Medical Center, folks, if you're looking for a new primary care, concierge medicine, Chris Lugo is your guy. He will spend tons of time with you and make sure everything is going well. Keep you healthy instead of just keeping you or getting you healthy when you get sick. We'll do that too. Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. All right, let's talk some Gator football with our Gator Report brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group with our good friend Scott Carter from FloridaGators.com. What's up, Scotty? How are you?
Hey, good morning, JP. Doing well. A little rainy up in Gainesville today, so hopefully it'll be clear by tomorrow when SEC opener Texas A&M at the Swamp. So get to learn a little bit more about this team.
Yes, indeed. And if you go on FloridaGators.com, your great website, I was just perusing this. There's a lot of stuff going on tomorrow for this. SEC Nation's going to be there. Marty and McGee going to be there. Emmitt Smith. It's going to be the two bits this week. You got all kinds of stuff going on, right?
A lot going on. Obviously SEC Nation was here for the opener against Miami and didn't go well. So we'll see if Tim Tebow can watch a win at the Swamp, because he usually stays and watches the game on the sideline after these shows. And then, of course, anytime Emmitt Smith comes back, which, I've been doing this Mr. Two-Bit honorary kind of a cheerlead before the game since 2013. Had a lot of famous Gators come back over the years, and this is Emmitt's first time doing it. So that should, get the crowd fired up, and it's an interesting little tie-in. Emmitt's son is actually plays for Texas A&M, so, he's got a lot of reason to be here.
How the hell did that happen? How's Emmitt Smith's son not playing in Florida?
Yeah, I know he started at Stanford, and then he ended up transferring, I think, just closer to home. I mean, it's been obviously in Texas for 30-some years now, so it's home to him.
I don't think Florida was even interested in EJ, were they?
Not to my knowledge. I don't think there was much going on there with recruiting. I don't know a lot about his talent, but I got to believe that if he was Emmitt-like, they would have certainly been interested.
I would think. I would think. Interesting juxtaposition. So who's Emmitt rooting for? I don't know.
Well, he's got to go, at least pregame, we know he's rooting for the Gators because he's going to get the crowd fired up. So, I don't know if he'll be wearing an A&M shirt or anything. I would imagine that he'll play this. He's pretty savvy with PR, so I think he'll figure it out.
He'll figure it out. Absolutely. All right. Well, let's get to the main question. Who the hell's playing quarterback? Is there going to be a flip-flopping of quarterbacks? Napier has done that in the past at his old job. Is it Mertz okay? Did he practice? What's going on at quarterback?
Yeah, that's been really the dominant storyline this week around the Gators, JP. And, Graham Mertz is back at practice. Billy Napier said on Wednesday night that he's looked really good. I think the plan is certainly for both guys to play. I think Graham Mertz will start, and then I think the plan is to get DJ some reps. And then it's just going to get interesting from there, because we all know how these go. The guy now, all the fans, obviously, with what DJ Lagway did last week, coming out and throwing for 456 yards. Ooh. I mean, the fans are over the top excited about the potential that he brings. And yet coaches are going to, stick with their guys for the most part. Graham Mertz has been nothing but a great teammate, a good leader. And he actually had the best season of his career last year. a lot different kind of player than DJ Lagway. He's your traditional drop back quarterback. DJ's your traditional dual threat, can run it too. So it's just going to be interesting to see if when he brings DJ in, what the circumstances are. I mean, what if Mertz goes out and looks like, Tom Brady, then it probably is best case scenario for Billy Napier. But if there's any kind of flow going in the offense or struggles and he brings DJ in and he does something, then suddenly this thing blows up into it gets the nuclear level. So we'll just see what happens.
Yeah, I'm for it. I want to see it happen. I want to see DJ get out there and run around and do some stuff and let the fans chant his name. I want to see the same thing in Tallahassee this weekend with Brock Glenn. I think obviously Billy has a much tougher decision because Graham, I think, is much more capable than DJU, and he can play. I don't think DJU can play at all. I think it's an easy decision for Norvell. But for Napier, this is it. I mean, he's coaching for his job here. How important is this game just in terms, and we know what gauntlet's coming for Florida. We can all read the schedule. You got this one at home. It's one you can win. How important is this for Napier, you think?
I mean, I think it's huge, JP. I really think, you need to win this game because if you lose, then the tone goes right back to where it was after the Miami game. They come out last week and did exactly what they needed to do against Stanford, and they got a bonus with such a great performance by DJ Lagway in his first career start. So that kind of, changed the tone a little bit, but now everybody is clamoring for a DJ. So it just puts, Billy in a tough spot, and obviously it's not the scenario that he wanted this early in the season. The plan was to play both guys
right
all season. I think we would have seen that, but now it's taken on a different magnitude with just the big picture of Billy's status and also with what Lagway did. So it's what makes it. I mean, this game's a very interesting game to me. I mean, it's good. Yeah, it's going to be huge just on public opinion and just where the Gators are after 3 games. But I think it's a game they can win. It's good. It's a tough game, but I think we're going to be saying this about every Florida game.
Yes. Yeah.
Over the next few weeks. I mean, even if they beat Texas A&M, then they're going to have to beat UCF. They're going to have to beat, Tennessee. They're going to have to beat some schools because once November starts, it's going to be tough to get the wins, man.
Scott, these are two teams whose offenses have sort of failed to find their way so far in the young season. The Aggies traditionally, under Jimbo Fisher during his time, did not play well on the road. He had a miserable road record with the Aggies. It's Mike Elko's first season. It's his first road game. It's an SEC road game. Would this surprise you to be a pretty low-scoring 17-14 game either way?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking too. I mean, I don't think we'll see a shootout by any means, but I think with Texas A&M, they're coming in. We're in a new age here, guys. The SEC, they started doing these availability reports this week, kind of like the NFL's injury report.
Yeah.
So one of the big things coming out of Texas A&M was the first one they released was Connor Wigman, the starting quarterback, was questionable. So, how does that factor in? Obviously, A&M, they're coming off a big win over McNeese, kind of a similar situation as Florida faced with Stanford. After losing to Notre Dame, I think they played better against Notre Dame than certainly Florida did against Miami. And with Mike Elko, first-year coach there, they've got some familiarity with Florida's offense. Their defensive coordinator, Jay Bateman, and defensive line coach, Sean Spencer, they were both on Billy Napier's staff last year here at Florida. Wow. So there's some intrigue there. A couple of former Gators are playing over there with Jaden Hill and Scooby Williams. They're playing for A&M now. So you got that. You got the Lagway-Mertz situation. You got Napier's future in question. I mean, there's just a lot of intrigue around this game. And so, I'm like you guys probably seeing this more of an old-fashioned slugfest, but we'll see. I mean, I've been surprised.
And, I've always been a Connor Wigman guy since he was recruited and came here to A&M and kind of stole the job from Max Johnson and Haynes King back in the day. But if he is out for some reason, and I haven't heard anything about him even potentially missing other than that availability report that you mentioned. If he's out, Jalen Henderson is I think he's really good. He's more of a running guy than Wigman is. The game might be even more exciting if Jalen Henderson has to come in for
Jalen Henderson versus DJ Lagway. Let's go.
Let's go. Would that be?
Yeah, well, if that happens, then we might have a shootout because the defense will be scrambling. And I think from Florida's perspective, they've had some trouble with those running quarterbacks. We saw, obviously, last year with Jaden Daniels. I think they would probably prefer maybe more of a Weedman type quarterback. But, they're still trying to find some answers defensively as well. So there's just so many unknowns. And again, I think the Aggies at last look were like, I think 4.5 point favorite. And you're just not seeing that at the Swamp much over the years until lately. So it's interesting to see.
Scott Carter joining us from FloridaGators.com. Get all your information on the Gator Game Day right there and all the X's and O's as well. Great stuff on the website, Scotty. What about injuries for the Gators? Any significant ones popping up? What do you see?
Yeah, no, I mean, as far as right now, there's some questionable guys like Eugene Wilson III, evidently, listed as lower body questionable. I mean, anytime that the Gators are going to potentially be without him, that's a alarm. But I think right now, just from what I'm hearing, I expect him to play, but I don't know if it'll be 100%. They've had a lot of, guys, Asa Turner, the transfer from Washington, he's out again in the secondary. So they're kind of banged up really early in the season, especially in the secondary. And so that's obviously advantage A&M there. But I think for Florida, if it plays into the kind of game that we're talking about earlier, I think it's imperative that they get Montrell Johnson Jr. going early. And they're still trying to figure out some things on the offensive line. And that's going to be key for Florida, I think, in this game. They're going to have to be able to run the ball. Even though we're talking a lot about Lagway and Mertz, I still think this is the kind of game where Montrell Johnson needs to gain some yards in the offensive line, help him out.
Well, especially if Trey Wilson is a little limited. I mean, he's the game breaker, right? That's who A&M has to really worry about. And other than him, are there any other targets that Mertz can really depend on, or DJ when they're in? I mean, that seems like if Trey Wilson can't go or is limited, that can really hurt the Gator passing attack, I'm thinking.
Yeah, I mean, Trey Wilson's definitely Florida's most dynamic player with the ball in his hands. But I do think one thing that they showed last week with Lagway, he went to a lot of the young receivers. He threw a 36-yard touchdown to Tank Hawkins, a freshman.
Yeah.
He hit Aiden Mizell on a 41-yard scoring strike. He's a true freshman.
That was an amazing throw. Whew.
That was probably as good of a throw as I've seen a Florida quarterback make in a long time. So, they got some production last week from younger guys, which you need that, and they're going to need that as they continue deep into the SEC season. So they'll have to, if Wilson is not 100% or is unable to play, I mean, obviously those guys have to show up on the stat sheet, or it could be a long day for Florida.
Well, what is the state of the fan base right now, Scotty? I mean, the keyboard warriors in full force. What's your feelings as far as the fan base goes?
Yeah, I mean, the fans are just, I've never seen it this loud this early. I think as I talked about last week with you guys. And again, it did get a little quieter last week because they got distracted by DJ Lagway.
Right.
And so that's a good distraction for the Gators. But it's really going to be a week-by-week thing. And if they do lose Saturday, I don't know where it's going. I mean, there's a lot of rumor mill, a lot of even columns being written right now that, that there could be change. I don't have any firsthand knowledge of it. I'm not hearing anything inside. It's just, I think we'll just see week by week. I mean, it's kind of your typical, coach under fire that comes about every year in college football. It's just usually it takes a little deeper into the season to happen. And unfortunately, it happened after one game at Florida this year.
Well, just tell Timmy to stay in town and put the headset on, and we'll just go right to Tebow. I mean, that's what everybody wants anyway, so he can handle it, no problem. Yeah. Emmett can be the running back coach.
Yeah,
Spurrier can be the OC. Yeah.
I mean, bring all the guys back, and but that's just typical. I mean, it's like I said, it's great because that passion is there.
Yeah,
people care about this program, and Billy Napier, obviously, he's 11-15 after 26 games. That's not what he wants. That's not what Florida fans want. It's not what the administration wants. They're going to have to do better. And there's really nothing left to say on his part other than just some W's, man. Yeah. And I think they know that, fans know that, and that's where it is. And the media certainly turned up
college football. Yeah.
I mean, it's why you get paid so much money, but it's
why those buyouts are so big.
Yeah, exactly.
He and Willie Taggart can open up a restaurant. Oh, they get plenty of seed money. Yeah, that's
there's a lot worse things in life than being acquired.
Work for Spurrier. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. All right, Scotty. Great stuff as always, my friend. FloridaGators.com is the website. Get all this content there, and at Gator Scott on the X machine is where all the information is for Florida Gators. Thanks, Scotty. Appreciate it, buddy.
See you, fellas.
All right, we'll bounce to the gate from the Gators to FSU right after a quick break. Pat Burnham is in the bullpen of the Osceola Rivals Network. We got quarterback issues in Tallahassee as well. Who's playing for them this weekend? We will dive into it all. We're brought to you by Italiano Insurance, our FSU report. Of course, the Italiano family, big FSU fans. We love that. And if you have any questions about your insurance, your business insurance, especially, folks, it's Italiano Insurance. Get the great customer service that they're known for. 813-877-7799. Back with Pat Burnham and the FSU report when we return. Stay with us. Hey, it's football season, and we welcome back the Gator Report every Monday and Friday, sponsored by the Jeeves Law Group, Jeeves lawgroup.com. Just go to the website. You can contact them through there. Scott Jeeves is a tremendous, aggressive attorney and a big Gator fan, so we appreciate him supporting this show and, of course, your Florida Gators. They are local, they are trusted, and they get results, whether it's personal injury or anything else, any law matter at all. It's the Jeeves Law Group, Jeeves lawgroup.com. Give them a call. Tell them JP sent you. All right, this is for all you guys who don't want to go to the gym and do 5,000 crunches. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, you can get on the new True Body machine where you can reduce fat and tone up your muscle. It's like doing 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Define your body as you see fit. True Body offers personalized muscle stimulation that delivers the equivalent of those 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Just get in touch with them at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Chris Lugo and the team over there will set you up on True Body and get amazing results. Non-invasive with comfortable and little to no pain and zero downtime. You can isolate and target those areas that you want to improve and treat multiple areas simultaneously. It's an amazing machine, so check it out at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. JP here to ask the question, are you planning an event, meeting, or conference? If so, you'll want to call the designers and production professionals at Extravaganza Productions Incorporated. With over 35 years of experience in the events industry, designing and producing every type of small to large event, they can provide a huge resource for design ideas, audio, visual, sound, lighting, decor, and entertainment to turn your event into an incredible experience for the entire audience. Folks, I've worked up close and personal with this group at many national events and Tampa events, and they have unique capabilities that help you save time and money in the planning and execution of your next event. Don't delay. Call these pros today at 813-621-4700 or check out their website at extravaganzaproductions.com. Tell them JP sent you, and they'll provide a free initial consultation for your event. Extravaganza Productions, the best in the business. Golfers, listen up. The hottest new driving range craze has come to Rogers Park in Tampa. The Top Tracer range is now open 10 to 9 p.m. And just like you see on TV, every shot is tracked for yardage and accuracy, giving you immediate feedback. And best of all, You can virtually play the top courses like Pebble Beach or St. Andrews with your buddies. Plus, great food and drink options available in the well-appointed hitting bays. Very comfortable out there. Reservations highly recommended, starting at $25 per hour, including balls. Reserve at RogersParkGolf.net. That's RogersParkGolf.net. See you there.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show here on this Football Friday, Friday the 13th. Thanks to all our viewers who have jumped in. 1,600 plus. That's the biggest number I think I've ever seen in the upper left-hand corner there. So thank you all for joining the show. Hope you enjoy it.
I am monitoring my Twitter feed, and we have 5,108 people watching on Twitter right now.
Wow. How about that?
I don't know what's happening. I must look good today, huh?
You do.
Got my hair parted right?
Ashley was saying that beard looks, you guys oiled it up very nicely.
I did.
Maybe they heard that we're having Dan Lucas, Scott Carter, and our next guest on, who always brings the meters up, the great Pat Burnham from the Osceola Rivals Network. What's up, Patty? How are you, buddy?
We can start calling it the Burnham Bump.
The Burnham Bump.
I love it.
Hell yeah, bro. Listen,
What's happening, man?
You got to promote yourself, or nobody else will. That's what I always say. That's for damn sure. Hey, I love that shirt too. Very nice.
Oh, thank you. I had them made. You know, I mean, a little
nice.
old school style.
Where's my shirt? I tried to get the guys to make this week. DJ free. DJ free. That's where no DJ in the booth. No DJ at quarterback and no DJ at linebacker. I said that on your show earlier, and I'm sticking to it. I'm sticking to it. We need to go DJ free. We'll start with the DJ in the booth. Are we going to get the war chant on the third down, or are we still going with Akon?
Yeah, it seems like Mike is, he came out and said something. This is the kind of year it is, but we're talking about bands at press conferences, football games. They did it in Colorado, and they did it at Florida State this week. So there's some symmetry. Not ready for prime time on both spots. But listen, Mike said that the band's going to play on. I don't know. He says he was unaware of it to a certain extent. I don't care if he was or wasn't. But,
he doesn't need to be dealing with that
right,
crap.
right. But supposedly they have given the Marching Chiefs the permission to play. And actually, Jerry Cutts, our publisher, wrote an article on all the changes that are going to take place from week 1 to week 2. So you can go to theosceola.com.
Oh, well, give me some highlights.
Jerry, I've been working on recruiting. I can't give you the memory on
Nobody
that.
wants to know who the players are. We want to know what the selection's going to be, bro. Come on, have your priorities right, for God's sakes.
That's not even enter my head.
There you go again, thinking about the talent on the field. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. It's amazing I'm a football person.
Be better than that. We want to know music selections.
But it's even more of a reason to go to theosceola.com.
There you have it. That's called a tease.
Addresses the whole thing and how all these things are coordinated between the game day experience crew and the football team and the athletic department, and when they can play DJ music, because when the band, he's got it timed out. He will tell you exactly when the band cannot play, because they're going from one place to another. I mean, he's got it scheduled out when you can expect to hear DJ music or house music versus the band. So it's a minute by minute account of what happened.
Well, there you go. That's what people want to know. They want to know. Well, we did hear the music selection that was done a cappella by the crowd. Brock. That was the a cappella song that was being chanted throughout Doak Campbell Stadium. And it's the question that I have for you, my friend. Have you, through your sources, do we have any idea how many snaps Brock Glenn got with the ones this week, or is it all DJ Pooh?
Well, listen, based on, I did not go to practice this week. Kurt and Bob did. They said both quarterbacks look good. Obviously, we can't talk about who takes snaps where. It was a promise we've given to Mike about if we're allowed access to practice, we don't talk about depth charts or who's running with who kind of thing. And listen, he came out in our article about the quarterbacks and receivers spending more time together over open week and all those things. And, he felt like the quarterbacks as a whole got better, particularly DJU. And, he doubled down the fact that I think we all know this. There are multiple issues on the offense. It's not just DJU, but,
exactly.
He's listed as a starter. I expect him to start based on Mike's words. What he said, he sounded like nothing other than DJU is going to be the starter. And it's going to be interesting to see how quick the trigger is if Florida State starts to flounder on offense out of the gate against Memphis. And, listen, I've seen the computer model scores. CBS Sports has got FSU 34-26. Another SP's got them 31-29. I don't see how that many points were scored in this game, but I think it's going to, the offensive and defensive lines are going to have to prove that they can stop some people.
Right.
And I think that's where it's going to start. And Memphis is, UNA against North Alabama, their opener, 59 yards against UNA on the ground, but then they ran for 211 against Troy last week. So they found their running game at the wrong time for Florida State.
How's their offensive line? How's this?
Inexperienced. They only have 3 other guys are making their first ever career starts this year. So they'll have 2 starts under their belt. The 2 guards are the most experienced guys. They did find success. They're big gap scheme. Zone scheme team. Didn't do a lot of gap stuff the first 2 games. They like to run the ball outside off the left tackle, tight end, and when they run inside, they like to run off the right guard and center. But they did find the running game, and I think part of that was obviously the fact that 3 of those guys had never started a game before this year.
Right.
Now, listen, Florida, they're not going to. The people they're going to face against Florida State's defensive line are much more talented, in theory, than the teams they played against. They do. These guys, Daryl Jackson is a physical specimen. If he wants to play ball, he can play ball. Same thing with Josh Farmer, less physical specimen, but certainly a guy that can be disruptive. And then Patrick Payton's got to get it going, and so does Marvin Jones Jr. But yeah, listen, go back to your quarterback question. I think that if they start out slow, you're going to start hearing the boos and we want Brock again. And listen, I think I've said this to you on my show, and we've had you on my show earlier this week. If the offense struggles, everybody says, well, once you go to Brock, you can't go back. Well, I don't know if that's true. No. You do whatever you got to do to win a football game, and don't worry about hurting somebody's feelings. And if it takes 2 quarterbacks to win a ball game, that's what you got to do.
Damn right.
Listen, I think Brock, as you and I have talked about, I think the one thing that he does do, and you haven't seen what you would call a lot of energy with Florida State's offense. I think Brock does play with enthusiasm and energy, and I think
and he can run.
Yeah, I don't know if it's 10-10 at halftime. Do you put him in the second half? I think yes. Where does Mike make that decision? I think that's going to be the big deal. You're down by a touchdown? Are you down by 10 points? Is it you can't throw the ball again? You're having trouble running the ball. You need a does Brock give you a little bit of versatility in what you call in the run game? So
yes.
I think there's some things there you've got to consider because listen, if you lose this game, this season could get away from you real quickly. I mean, you're 0-3. You've now lost to a Group of 5 team. You've got 2 games you should win coming up, but after that, it's Clemson, Miami, Notre Dame, North Carolina. Yeah. So you got to get this one, and I think you got to use whoever it takes to get it done, even if that's Brock Glitt.
Pat, what's the injury situation at FSU? Any injury standing out that could be key?
Yeah, I think the one, and listen, as I told you on Tuesday, it'll be a footnote to this season because he was not used very much in the 2 games that he did play. But Jalen Lucas is out for the season. Don't know what the injury is. He was one of the, based off what we saw in practice during fall camp, he was one of the most explosive and consistent playmakers in this offense against Florida State's defense. And I think he ended up with maybe 5 or 6 total touches in the 2 games he played in, which is disappointing. Now you do get Hakeem Williams back in the rotation. He showed flashes of being
big outside receiver.
Yeah, that playmaking receiver. Late last year we saw him get some garbage time play, and you saw him. He scored a couple of touchdowns, and you got to hope that he is good as he was advertised coming out of high school.
He's a difference maker. He can be a difference maker.
And, listen, maybe he helps get this Florida State offense rolling. But those are probably the 2 biggest things on the injury front. As there's probably some guys that are nicked and bruised, but that's just the way it is. But, yeah.
So with Jalen out, and it just forces Mike's hand a little bit at running back as well. I mean, not that he got a ton of touches, but, Roydell Williams, he played at Alabama. He's good. He's not explosive, I don't see any great talent. I don't see him breaking tackles. We've heard so much about Cam. These other guys, I mean, just deep running back room. Are we going to, we talk about DJU. How about we give a shot to some of these other running backs? Because I don't think Roydell's been super good. I don't.
Yeah, I think we'll see more of Cam Davis in this game than we have the last two. I really do. I think that he is getting more comfortable in the offense. I think some of those freshman jitters, we saw it against Georgia Tech where he dropped that wide open pass. I mean, those should be passing now. He's got 2 games under his belt. So I would think that Cam's going to play more. He is a powerful guy. He can make people miss. He runs extremely hard. And, listen, I think he's kind of the backs that we've seen so far, Roydell and Cam are more like Trey Benson than I guess you could throw Keziah Holmes in that. But I think Cam's got that kind of he runs with force and with power, and I think he likes to run over. Trey was not afraid to take people on, and I think that Cam might give him a little boost. And like I said, he's got 2 games under his belt. They talked. He was one of the guys they interviewed post practice this week. Usually, you can read into that. He's probably going to take on a bigger role when you start putting him out there in front of the media.
Like that, and. A lot of my FSU fans have asked about leadership, and you lose a lot of players to the NFL. They were very talented, and you've talked about this as well. Is there anybody stepping up? You know the personalities of these players way more than I do. I don't know any of them. But are there guys that, and sometimes, you see this in the NFL as well. Their time comes for leadership. When you're a freshman, sometimes you can't just jump up there and be the guy. Right. Even though you have leadership qualities, you can't do that. You got to get playing time. There's a natural evolution to it. But right now it looks like a rudderless ship. And if there's ever a time for maybe a younger guy to step up, who's going to be a big part of the future, now is that time. Can you identify any of those guys that have those natural leadership qualities that may be able to step forward and start saying, okay, guys, this is bullshit. Now it's time to play. You got this spear on your helmet, you better start acting like it, and let's go.
I think the 2 obvious guys on offense are Darius Washington and Maurice Smith. Now they're offensive linemen, and listen, neither one of them are particularly vocal guys, but you would think when they spoke, their words mattered, right? They've been here since Willie was here. They've been through the best of times and the worst of times. Yeah. Tell of 2 cities type of thing. Mm-hmm. And listen, I think those are the obvious choices. DJU is on the practice field is not overly vocal. He's not overly animated. And he's new, right? He's new to this locker room. Exactly. I think some of this leadership stuff is the ripple effects of one of those unknown ripple effects of the portal, right? So on defense, you got DJ Lundy should be the leader of this defense. But DJ Lundy jumped in the portal this offseason and committed to Colorado, then comes back. You're playing
terrible. It's hard to be a leader when you're terrible.
So and play does impact your ability to lead. There's no doubt about that.
Yes.
So it's an easier answer on offense than it is defense to me. I don't see the leadership on defense. Is Cam Riley a guy just based off the fact that he's making plays? He's second leading tackler on your team. Does he? He's an older guy.
What about Nicholson?
I just think he's too young right now. I don't think that's he's another kid that's quiet. He really doesn't say a lot.
What about Brock Glenn?
Brock Glenn, listen, I think Brock Glenn's got some leadership qualities. I mean, you go back.
You
go back to that Florida game last year where he's never been in a college football game before. I don't think. He played in that UNA game. He played late, scored a touchdown. But let's talk about real football, not against 63 scholarship guys versus 85. But anyway, listen.
There were some moments there.
You see him where he called his own number. He checked out of a play and ran the ball. I mean, most freshman quarterback would have been scared to death to be in the game, number one, let alone check out of a play called by your head coach, who happens to be your offensive coordinator. And I do think he's got a little moxie to him.
Little Casey Weldon, you say?
Yeah, that's what that was my comp coming out of high school. It's who reminded me of. And now they both wear the same number. They're both about the same size. They're a little bit bigger than you think. Obviously, Brock is a tough kid. I think he's potentially could be a leader for this team, but in order to lead, he's got to be on the field.
It's got to be on the field.
Yeah. So
again, my point.
Yeah. So listen, I think there's some guys on offense that you could point to for sure. Defense, it gets a little harder, and I think that's because they lost so much leadership on that side of the ball.
Yes.
I mean, you had leaders on every level of the defense last year, and let's face it, the guys that ran that team last year were Jared Verse, Braden Fisk, Kalen DeLoach, and Tatum Bethune on defense. On offense, Jordan was the heart and soul of the entire team, and I think guys felt like he had an it factor. You had multiple guys on offense and defense that had it factors last year.
Yeah.
Keon Coleman had something about him.
Johnny Wilson.
Those four guys on defense had something about either the way they led, the way they practiced, the way they played, or a combination of all three of those things. And you just don't see that out of this team this year. And I think that's the advent of you brought in 17 guys that are new to this team and expected to play, and meshing personalities together in a locker room can be tough. And when you're throwing in the NIL component and all that. Now, I'm not saying that's got a factor in it, but I'm saying that's something you got to think about.
The talent, especially the young players that they've recruited recently. There's a tight end that escapes me.
Landon Thomas.
Tell me about some of these guys, because you've told me they're good players, and I know it takes time to learn the system. I know it takes. Is this a matter of it taking time, or is there not enough trust by the coaching staff? Identify some of these players that you believe should be getting more playing time.
Well, I mean, I'll start up front with Chris. I call him, his name's he's Andre Chris Otto. I call him Chris Otto. He goes by Andre, but he's a redshirt freshman and offensive lineman. I think he is. I'm shocked that he has not played more than he has. I think he's a kid that's going to be a all ACC type performer for Florida State by the time he is done. Thought he had one of the better camps of any of the offensive line.
On the line?
They've worked him at three different positions: center, guard, and right tackle. I would, he's listed as the backup at center, but I think he could play either of the three. They got early backing up Byers. I'm not sure I wouldn't give Andre a shot at backing up Byers and getting him some reps at right tackle. Listen, and they haven't been very good at guard this year. I think he deserves to go in the game before TJ Ferguson over Keandre Jones. That's just my personal experience.
I agree. Especially after that stupid penalty.
Yeah. So that one just drives. That was the game was probably over, but if there were ever you can't do that. You can't
give yourself a shot.
Yeah. So listen, and there are some of the younger freshmen. I think Elijah Moore, their true freshman receiver.
Yes.
He could be a guy that could develop within the context of the season, confines of the season. Excuse me, where maybe he's not ready this week, but maybe in 6 weeks he's ready to go. I'm really excited about Amari Williams, the kid they signed, came out a year early out of high school. And obviously, they moved him to tight end right before the season started.
Yeah, I was thinking of him too.
I have been very impressed by his ability to catch the ball. I thought,
unlike our starting tight end, we have an issue with that when anybody's near him.
I'm going to write that off to an aberration on Kyle, because we've never seen that out of him before. And of course, it couldn't have happened. Two wide open.
Well, this is not just once.
Both first downs.
One ball in the 12 that have been sent his way.
Yeah,
come on, bro.
Yeah, so but Amari's got great hands. I don't think physically he or Landon are quite ready yet. Now, could you line up Amari in the slot or in passing situations at tight end? Probably, at least based off what we saw at practice. And listen, I'm still waiting for KJ Sampson to come along on defense. I think he's got a chance to be a good player. We've seen Daniel Lyons, a younger player, on defense come along. I'd like to see more reps out of KJ Kirkland behind Shaheem Brown. That's a redshirt freshman, I believe. KJ is a redshirt freshman.
Shaheem Brown has been terrible.
They certainly got to get it together. But listen, some of these guys that aren't playing well are talented. They just got to get it going. And
right.
And listen, I think I just think there's so many questions going into this game. Who is going to play better? Will anybody play better? We hear all the right things from Mike during the week. And, again, I'll repeat it, how the receivers and quarterbacks spend extra time together. Well, why weren't they doing that before now? I mean, sometimes I wish we would talk less and just practice.
Practice more.
But yeah. So Mike's a guy that's always going to stay on message. So what we've learned about this team through 2 games is what we saw as people that cover this team in fall camp didn't translate to the field against Georgia Tech or Boston College. So it's like I told somebody today, we can write whatever we want to write about practice. We can write glowing practice reports. We can write negative practice reports, whatever we see. I don't think it matters unless that shows up on Sunday.
Yeah,
on Saturday.
And you're playing against yourself. So
right.
It's like if both sides of the ball are bad, it might look good some days, and so
that's kind of what we got into. Why did the offensive line look so good some days, and why the
defensive line is terrible,
right?
Yeah,
and vice versa. So they traded days, right? And as longer we got into camp, the more back and forth we saw between those two. So they were equals, right?
Right.
And now what we're learning is that, unfortunately, at least
they're both
2 games,
equally bad.
Yeah. So,
equally bad.
But listen, you got some guys that need to step up. I mean, you've got a veteran offensive line with Darius Washington, Maurice Smith, and Robert Scott and Jeremiah Byers. I mean,
they've been playing bad,
and those guys have to simply play better. And listen, you can't let FSU. And this is on Mike and the offensive staff. They have not identified up until at least tomorrow what this offense can do well consistently, right? They tried to run the ball all day against Georgia Tech until the last drive when they had to throw it. They tried to throw the ball all day against Boston College because they couldn't run it. And I think they've got it. There's got to be some balance.
They gave up on the run.
16
that's part
runs.
of it too.
Yeah,
I mean,
you're
first and goal at the 5-yard line, and you got to get a touchdown, and the first thing you do is drop 7 yards back.
Get sacked.
Listen,
they had 2 possessions in that ball game where they had first and goal at the 6 or less, and they ran 6 straight pass plays in those 2 drives.
Because your quarterback's so good.
3 on the first one, got sacked. Then I think the next play he missed Williamson, and then more of the same the next time they got first and goal where they decided to throw the ball for whatever reason. And
the coach's decisions in these 2 games have been absolutely mystifying, but none more ridiculous than the 4th down call. You haven't talked about this on my show, but I talked about it ad nauseum. Has there been fallout from that this week in terms of the fan base on all the shows and the message boards and all this stuff? Because it was, to me, the most egregious 4th down call maybe I've ever seen in my life, and that's a lot of life. It was so bad on so many levels. I mean, what did Mike address this secondarily? I mean, we had a similar call at USF. The Golish made a horrible call in
I saw that.
Alabama. I don't know what the hell he's thinking. Great, but coaches that I really trust, that are really good coaches, that are smart guys and are aggressive guys. I get it, but man, just weird. What did he say about this?
I don't think he was asked about it specifically, and I think he has gone I think he has gone for it so much on 4th down that the guys that cover have just come to expect it, and they're like, well, you can't. He's going to tell you. He's going to have the same answer. Analytics told me to do it. Listen, it was baffling. Again, as you and I talked about, you're coming out of halftime. You got the ball first. You've got a defense that finished that. 2 of the last 3 drives were 3 and outs. The last drive was just Boston College running out the clock. So they had no success on offense the last 3 drives. You got a punter that changed the field, flipped the field for you twice. You've got a quarterback that is completing right around 50% of his passes, and receivers are dropping the ball all over the place.
Let's go for it.
Why not punt the ball? And instead, you call a pass play. And as I told you last week, the closest FSU receiver to that ball was in Duval County. And Boston College gets the ball on the 7-yard line when they return that interception. And for the most part, that game was over at 21-6.
Right there.
They had a couple other chances, but they weren't going to. And I think what's hidden that decision is they were so bad on defense. I just think that everybody's like, well, it didn't matter what they did if they couldn't stop Boston College
I
from running the
disagree
ball.
with that.
They were
momentum is such a big deal in college football. The emotion
Well, I
plays
agree.
a huge part.
I'm just saying that. I think that's why there was not more made of it than what has been. Yeah. So, but yeah,
I'll disagree with that.
Yeah, well, I think we both agree that it was a bad decision. And
I think we can agree on this, Pat. That I don't think the coaches could possibly coach worse than they have in the first two games. I don't think the defensive line could possibly play worse than they have. I don't think the offense, they have played as poorly as they can in every segment in every way. And with a week off, you just hope to God that they figured some things out and they could, even if they play average, they've played their F- game, both games on across the board in every segment. And maybe a C game will get them a dub. And let's hope that's about the most I can hope for. And of course, the underscoring of this entire conversation is play the young guys. This season is lost. Get the guys in there, get them to start playing so we can start working towards a program that recruits players in high school, develops them in college, and becomes a consistent winner. And you've said this all along about the portal. And I think Mike's done a great job in rebranding this team, getting it back to the FSU championship brand. He's done a great job with that now. Now the next step is to become Georgia, become Alabama again, start recruiting at an elite level and playing and developing those players. And I think right now those are the biggest questions. Can you play and develop these players with your coaching staff to make this a great, consistent program?
Yeah, and listen. Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, everything you said is exactly true. And listen, I think sometimes I said if your portal's going to be the main function or the main primary source of your talent, your program is going to be built on shifting sands because you don't ever know what you're going to get from one year to the next. And we're seeing that right now. There's 5 Alabama transfers here on this team. I think from last year, at least 3 I could think of, maybe 4. But anyway, got a number of Alabama, and everybody just assumed because they're from Alabama they were going to be hits, right?
Yeah.
Earl Little, no reason to worry about Greedy Vance leaving for USC because Florida State had brought in Earl Little from Alabama, and he played for Patrick Surtain in high school, and he was going to be a hit, and he hadn't done anything yet. So I think, listen, he's a young kid. I think that's the one thing you got to take into account with some of these portal guys. You do have a chance to develop an Earl Little. Yep. You do have a chance to develop a Marvin Jones Jr., who for the first time is playing as a hand-in-the-ground defensive end. He did not do that at Georgia, and I think people have to take that into account. It's a new thing for him. But, yeah, I mean, certainly, we've seen them develop. We saw they've done good jobs. Listen, they developed Darius Washington. He's had a very good year last year. Maurice Smith is a guy they developed. Jordan Travis. I mean, they've done a good job at certain areas. And, right now, for whatever reason, guys that they needed to step up this year have not answered the bell. Now, whether that's underdevelopment or just not ready for major college football, 2 different questions. But,
we'll see this week.
Yeah, I think we're all – unless I don't –
must-see TV, noon on Saturday. Absolutely. Yes. All right, Pat, great stuff as always. Tell everybody how they can get your content, what's going on at the Osceola.
Yeah, just go to theosceola.com or floridastate.rivals.com. I've got my scouting report on Memphis, a lot of tendencies and personnel information on what they like to do and who they like to do it with. And then obviously we have our recruiting visitors list for this weekend's game, and they have an official visit from TJ Alford, a 4-star linebacker out of Vero Beach, who is committed to Ohio State. So it would be a great thing if Florida State's defense showed out in front of TJ. Also, Duke Johnson, Daryl Johnson, who's committed to Alabama as a linebacker, is here. And they've got a couple of defensive ends for 2025 that are committed to other schools that they're getting on campus this weekend for unofficial visits. So you can go to theosceola.com and check that out. Now, you do have to subscribe to get that information. Please check us out. Yeah, JP, man. I'll talk to you later, bud. Yep.
Thank you. Pat Burnham, the Osceola. All right, quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk some fantasy football with Jeff Tidoff, who's going to join us. And if you got any questions at all on your teams, and I've got questions. I got lots of questions. So we'll get to the expert when we come back here. Stay with us. Discover a world of elegance and sophistication at the Gold and Diamond Source. Whether you're searching for your first piece or celebrating a special milestone, their expert team is here to guide you every step of the way. Navigating the world of fine jewelry can be overwhelming, but but it doesn't have to be. Their knowledgeable staff is dedicated to helping you choose the perfect piece, ensuring you feel confident and informed. At the Golden Diamond Source, they pride themselves on offering only the highest quality jewelry. From stunning engagement rings to timeless watches, each piece is crafted with precision and care. So take advantage of their 5 years interest-free financing. This means you can get a $5,000 piece and only pay $83 a month. And if you're new to buying diamonds, their first-time buyer program will educate you on the 4 C's: cut, color, clarity, and carat, and help you understand the different shapes and sizes available. Go enjoy the great staff at the Golden Diamond Source. You'll be family forever. It's the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Ulmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com.
Hey Tampa Bay sports fans, this is two-time LPGA major champion Jane Geddes here. After winning the US Open and 10 other LPGA events, I wanted to try something completely different. So I came right off the top turnbuckle and landed in the crazy world of WWE. And yes, you heard that right, that's WWE. Working for the Vince McMahon as the VP of Talent Relations for the company. Now, though, I want to work for you. Everything I've done in my life, I've done with incredible passion. And now I've turned my focus to leading the best real estate team in Tampa Bay, the Geddes Gordon Group with Keller Williams in South Tampa. If you're looking for a new home, an investment property, or looking to sell your current home, we will give you major championship level service. When you choose Geddes Gordon Group, you become part of our inner circle, like family. So if you're looking for a few golf tips or a golf course view, we're going to stripe it right down the fairway. Call me at 813-485-6808 or go to gettysgordongroup.com, or again, give me a ring at 813-485-6808.
JP here for Third Generation AC and Plumbing. And Third Generation really says it all, folks. The owner, my friend John Rodriguez, has been in the AC and plumbing business since 1995. They built their business on honest assessments and doing great work on time for a great price. Simple, right? Did you know many AC techs are incentivized on big commissions to sell new AC units, and you might just need a drain cleared? So if you want someone you can trust, that's John Rodriguez and Third Generation Services. Check out the 5-star Google reviews. If you have a plumbing or AC emergency, call 813-961-8024 and a human will answer the phone. That's 813-961-8024 or go to thirdgenerationplumbing.com. Hey, it's football season, so we welcome back the FSU Football Report every Monday and Friday on the J.P. Peterson Show, sponsored by those huge FSU fans at Italiano Insurance. They'll save you money as well. Just do a quick insurance checkup, 813-877-7799. They just saved me $500 on homeowners insurance. Who's doing that? Yeah, they just shopped it around, found a better, cheaper company, and we got a cheaper price. And business insurance. Make sure you're covered or you could lose your personal wealth. That's 813-877-7799. ItalianoInsurance.com. Go Noles.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, one of South Tampa premier traditional Italian restaurant. We were recently voted number 3 on Open Table list of Tampa Bay's top 10 restaurants. We're very proud of that because we take great care of preparing each dish by hand with homemade sauces, pastas, only the freshest local ingredients. You won't see the big institutional vendor trucks pulling up to our back door. We get our seafood from local vendors. Sometimes I even drive out to Topper Springs and pick out our daily catch right off those boats. So stop by and say hello. Try our traditional lasagna, the fresh veal, some of our signature dishes like capelli al granchio, that is angel hair with lump crab meat, our branzino, that is a sea bass. We're located at 4205 South McDill, and you can make a reservation on Open Table and read all the great reviews. See you soon. Ciao. Grazie.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
Welcome back into FanStream Sports. It's the JP Peterson Show. I am IndyCar Tim. That guy over there is JP Peterson. And it is Football Friday, JP.
It is indeed.
And you wanted to talk some fantasy football.
Fantasy football on Friday. Lots of F words there, which we're known for.
But not the one that we want to use all the time. Although we can now if we want to.
That's right.
I mean, technically, unless the sponsors don't like it. But we have a treat for everybody. Hopefully this can be a regular thing here on the JP Peterson Show.
Yes.
Because we have none other than Jeff Tito Thidoff joining the show.
What's up, Tito? Anybody
How are
with
you,
a name
man?
anybody named after a vodka is okay with me. That's all I got to say. Can you hear us?
I don't know. Can you hear us?
How you guys doing? Good to be on.
Oh, there he is. There he is. Jeff Tito Thidoff, for those of you that don't know, if you're familiar with FanStream Sports, you will know his pretty face right there because he is the host of the Buckeyes Daily Blitz. He is the host of the Black and Gold Daily Blitz, if you're a Steelers fan, and also the host of Fantasy Football Now alongside the great Chad Ochocinco here on FanStream Sports. So he's got all of the info for your fantasy sports needs, for your football needs. And first, before we start, Tito, I wanted you to go ahead and plug your fantasy football service because, I know you're up against the clock here. I want to make sure you get it in before we let you go here. So tell everybody a little bit about what you do. Maybe.
So fantasydraftproxies.com. Fantasy Draft Proxies is the name of the company. A buddy of mine started it up. And we do drafts for people. They pay us to draft their teams, and some people pay us to run their teams. It's something that a lot of people look. Fantasy football now, it's like the bowling leagues of the 70s. It's a very social thing now. And sometimes you get people that don't know much about football and really want help and want to look like they know what they're doing in the office, so they will hire us to do it, run it the whole year.
I love that. I love that idea.
Cut out of there.
Yeah, it's kind of going in and out. I don't know if you can adjust your Wi-Fi. That's not even possible these days, is it?
Yeah, you can't really adjust Wi-Fi like your old antennas on your TV, right?
No, not working. All right, so can we get to some questions?
Yeah, let's get some questions here for Tito.
All right, Tito. Baker Mayfield. This is all mine, all my team. Baker Mayfield or Jaden Daniels this week against the crappy Giants, or Baker had a great day against the Detroit Lions in the playoffs, 348 yards passing to 3 touchdowns, but we got some offensive line issues. Who would you go with? You start Jaden or Baker?
There he is.
Sorry, I'm back now. Can you guys hear me okay now?
Yeah, that's
you're
better.
Perfect. Yeah,
right.
That's way better.
Did you hear the question, Tito?
Did not hear the question.
Jaden Daniels or Baker Mayfield starting a quarterback this week?
God, Jaden Daniels, Mayfield, somebody who has obviously been the much to the chagrin of Browns fans, has outplayed Deshaun Watson since they did that. I'd go Jaden Daniels, though. I know he's a rookie, but the fact that he runs the ball the way he does, that's the difference for me. Not a great matchup for Baker going against Detroit. I think they're going to put some pressure on him. I would go ahead and start Jaden Daniels of Washington. Look, the Giants suck.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on that one. Jamar Chase or Brandon Ayuk this week?
God, I think I would go Jamar Chase on this one. His volume's got to increase now. I know last week was a bad week overall for the Bengals. Kansas City's a tough matchup. The Bengals will be playing behind. I think they'll be throwing the ball quite a bit. I know Burrow, there's that video of them shaking his hand and stuff like that, like he couldn't hold a water bottle or something. But I think I would go ahead and I would start Jamar Chase. I think that he'll have more targets, more opportunities than Ayuk will for San Francisco against Minnesota.
What about Ayuk or Terry McLaurin?
And that one, I would go Ayuk on that one. I just because I think that Daniels will make his hay with his running game more so than anything else. I think he'll distribute the ball evenly quite a bit. But I would take Ayuk in that one. Then I would start him over Terry McLaurin. I love Terry McLaurin, former Buckeye. I've loved what he's done in the NFL. But I think Ayuk's the right play there.
All right, cool. What else you got? You got anything, Timmy? You want to hit with?
Yeah, I kind of want to touch on generalities here. Was there anybody in week 1 for you that shocked you one way or the other, either surprisingly good or disappointment, that you are now, because of that performance, either not looking at them for week 2 and in the future, or that maybe made you pay more attention to them down the road?
Well, something that's interesting, I did, as part of that service we're talking about, I did about 75 drafts this year for other people. So like I found that there were by Ochocinco, Chad, he did a bunch too, also. And so but there's certain players I didn't get in most of my drafts. And one of the guys, I know it's going to sound like but I stayed away from Tua in most of my drafts. And now obviously we know there's other reasons there why it might not work out.
Smart.
I did love James Cook. That's somebody I was high on going into the season. I didn't buy a lot of HAN stock, but we'll see how much work he gets. Obviously, he had more yesterday than he would have gotten because of injuries in that Dolphins backfield. But, Pat Freiermuth is somebody I liked a lot coming in for the Steelers, and now I'm kind of fading him as far as the tight ends go. He's somebody that didn't do much for me there. That's one of the players. I really, with Kansas City, it's going to be difficult to figure out when Hollywood Brown gets in there, what it's going to be for him, what he's going to do. But that's somebody you got to watch as far as somebody to keep an eye on as far as a waiver wire type thing goes. If he's out there in your league, you may want to grab him there. In Baltimore, I don't like any of the receivers. Really, I don't think anybody going to, and I stayed away from them, and I still don't like a lot of the Baltimore receivers on a consistent basis.
Even Flowers?
I don't like Flowers that much. I think he got overdrafted in the drafts I did. I'm saying for the value I had on the draft, he was somebody who I don't have any, I don't know if I drafted him at all in those 35 drafts, to be honest with you. I'm trying to think if I ever picked his name up. I don't think I ever did. He's probably one of the rare people I never took in any draft.
Wow.
I got a question for you on the running backs this weekend. Tony Pollard for the Titans at the Jets, or would you go DeAndre Swift for the Bears at the Texans?
I think I'd go Swift. Pollard, I know he got a lot more touches than I thought he would in the first week, but I think DeAndre Swift has a better chance to be involved because Caleb Williams had no success throwing the ball. You saw that with that Bears offense as far as the fact they did not score a single offensive touchdown, somehow still overcame a 17-0 deficit without an offensive touchdown. Amazing. Caleb acted like he was celebrating like he did the win and everything. They won in spite of Caleb Williams. I think Swift gets some action this week. I like him more so this week.
All right. Saquon Barkley obviously changing teams, had an unbelievable debut. I got him on my squad. Can I hope that this continues through the rest of the year? What a monster he was. With Jalen Hurts, there's just with that RPO, it's so hard to stop those two. I ride that train all year long.
I bought a lot of stock in Saquon Barkley this year. I loved him. I was getting him I was making sure I got it. If I was picking like end of the first round, early second, he was out there, I grabbed Saquon Barkley. He's playing behind the best offensive line he's ever played behind. And I think this is, people say, oh, well, Jalen Hurts is going to score some touchdowns rushing. It's not going to take what Saquon's going to. They don't want Jalen Hurts to run the ball that much if they don't have to. You see what happened with Tua, but I mean, like, you don't want your quarterback getting hit that often. And having Saquon Barkley as effective as Hurts has been as a running quarterback, and we know that's a trend in the NFL now with these running quarterbacks, and that's great. But if you can avoid some of the wear and tear, if you can take 5 to 10 less hits a game on your quarterback from running the ball, that's a good thing, because what Miami's going to go through, Philadelphia would go through the same thing if they lost Jalen Hurts. They're going to keep feeding Barkley the ball, and they're going to run him into the ground. He's going to get a lot of touches by that great offensive line. I think he has a monster year. I love Saquon Barkley this year.
Yeah, me too. I think he's going to be huge.
How can you say that about a Penn State running back with a clean conscience, Tito? Come on.
Look, that's the hardest part for me. See, when I do this stuff, like, I have such a bias against Penn State and Michigan players, like, I hate them all. And I don't like taking them. And by the way, I never owned Tom Brady in one of my leagues I've been in. Never did it. And that's by design. I don't care don't tell me how good he is. I'll draft him for somebody else. Never for me, though.
Oh,
do you guys ever do that? Do you guys ever take a person, like, do you have players that, like, because you hate them so much or they screwed you so much, either in a gambling thing or in a fantasy football league, that you stay away from them?
Of course.
Yeah, Tito, I played fantasy football from like the early 90s until just 4 or 5 years ago, and I finally quit full time. And I never one time in my existence ever drafted a Philadelphia Eagles player.
There you
ever.
go. See? Yeah. And then I've got other guys, though, by contrast, that I always drafted no matter what. I loved Derek Mason, won a game for me a long time ago, the wide receiver for the Titans way back when, and also the Ravens for a while, and Ryan Grant for the Packers, another guy. And there's been years where I get to the end of the draft, and I'll draft Ryan Grant, even though he's not in the league anymore, just as a ceremonial thing. I'll do that.
I don't think I want you running my team.
That's
there's too much emotion going on here.
JP, I've been doing this since 1980.
Oh my
I was in the third grade.
Oh, you're a spreadsheet guy.
Yeah. I was in third. Oh, it was a newspaper. Yeah, I was in the third grade. Our math teacher, we had a bunch of guys that really liked football, and to get us to learn math, on Fridays after before school ended, we each draft a team. We do a draft every Friday, and we come in on Monday and have to get the newspaper out and compute our stats, averages, percentages, all this stuff.
My God.
My very first draft pick ever.
Brilliant math teacher.
Yes, he started playing in the late 60s, he said. They would go into a bar and watch NFL games, and all the guys would draft teams and bet money on it, on whose teams did the best. My very first draft pick ever was Brian Sipe of the Browns.
Holy
wow.
Shit, you do go back a long way.
Yeah.
Number 17.
Drafting Larry Zonka. Jesus, Pete. Hey, I got one of my picks. We're going to do picks next, and I got the Steelers getting points against the awful Broncos. What do you think this week?
I love it. I think the Steelers are going to do that. The Steelers defense is so good. And the fact that they didn't find the end zone last week and still won the game based on the 6 field goals by Chris Boswell, MVP, and also punted once because he had to because the punter got hurt. Great game for him. Justin Fields will do better, I think, this week in that offense. I know that, look, if he does well and they win, they've got to keep him in the game. They got to keep him as a starter, I think. I don't care what they keep saying about Russell Wilson. I know Russell Wilson wanted to play in this game because going back to Denver. If Fields plays well, and I think he will, he adds another dimension as far as a running quarterback goes with them. He had, I think, 56 yards rushing, I think it was last week. I think Pittsburgh does cover that. I love Pittsburgh getting points in this game. I think Pittsburgh wins the game outright.
And Buckeyes, too? They got Marshall this week?
No, they're off this week. They have Marshall next week.
Marshall next week. Okay.
They look damn good. Ohio State does, and it's the schedule looks tougher now than it did about a month ago because Nebraska looks pretty good. So it's a little tougher there for Ohio State, but yeah, they're going to roll through. They allowed 99 total yards in that game against Western Michigan last week, 56-0. Could have been worse, and the Ohio State looks damn good.
All right.
Are we a believer in Will Howard?
Yes, we're a big-time believer in Will Howard. And I got to interview Will Howard in July, and one of the things he said to me was that and he said, I mean, no disrespect to Kansas State's what he said, but when I was there, he said, I felt like I had to carry the team sometimes. I was like, it was all on me.
Yeah.
Here at Ohio State, I don't have to do that. I've got these weapons around me. I've got the best, one of the best defenses, if not the best defense in the country, getting me the ball in good field position. So it's a much different vibe here. And on top of that, he said this to me in July. He said, I've gotten more coaching here from Ryan Day and Chip Kelly than I got in my entire 4 years at Kansas State.
Wow.
So, yeah, he's the
you
real
go.
deal. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate it. Hopefully we do this every week, and hopefully you're right because I took all your advice on that one.
Hey,
all right. I'm
Tim
1-0. I got John Smoltz next week, and he's in my league, and he beat me out for the championship last year, and I better get it back this year. This is my goal in life.
Hey, Tim knows I'm a media whore. I'll come on anytime, any day, anywhere. It doesn't matter.
We love whores. We love whores.
Yes.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
Guys. Appreciate
Thanks,
it. Talk to you
Tito.
soon.
Media horse. Let me clarify.
We love all whores. Well, okay. I love all whores.
Ashley's listening. Stop. No, media horse. Yes.
Well, I'm not marrying her. You are.
That's right. Well, you're getting me in trouble. All right. We will take a quick break and we'll come back with some picks. I got my Bucks props. Red hot. And a couple other picks for you. Timmy's got a couple too. So stay with us. JP here for the Jeeves Law Group and my man, Scott Jeeves. If you're going to hire an attorney, do you want some guy looking for a quick settlement and a quick buck, or do you want an attorney with some chops? Scott is a board-certified civil trial lawyer and a certified circuit court mediator. Been practicing in the Tampa Bay area for over 30 years. He is a peer-reviewed AV preeminent-rated civil trial lawyer. They just don't hand out those classifications. He's been the lead class action counsel on many complex consumer protection cases and has handled hundreds of serious personal injury cases. He's dedicated his career to protecting injured victims and is committed to vigorously representing you. We're local, we're trusted, and we get results. Personal injury and personal attention. Call for a free case evaluation. That's 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES. The Jeeves Law Group. Getting old is inevitable, but feeling and looking old is avoidable. If you're feeling run down, your workout sucks, or your sexual libido is not what it used to be, check out Bay Area Modern Medical Center. That happened to me a few years ago, and I found out I had the testosterone level of a second-grade girl. That's not good. Our food, environment, and stress can cause your T levels to drop. Bay Area Modern Medical Center can help, and they are different. They offer customized hormone replacement for both men and women. Christopher Lugo and his medical staff can help you restore your energy, your sex drive, and your feelings of well-being. It was a total game changer for me. I have way more energy, lost 30 pounds, and I'm performing better in all areas of my life. Nobody wants to talk about sexual health, but it's key to a balanced life. We offer discreet treatments with real-world results. So if you're suffering from a lack of interest in sex, ED, or lack of sexual stamina, Dr. Lugo and his staff can help. Take your health care to the next level at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com. JP here to ask the question, are you planning an event, meeting, or conference? If so, you'll want to call the designers and production professionals at Extravaganza Productions Incorporated. With over 35 years of experience in the events industry, designing and producing every type of small to large event, they can provide a huge resource for design ideas, audio, visual, sound, lighting, decor, and entertainment to turn your event into an incredible experience for the entire audience. Folks, I've worked up close and personal with this group at many national events and Tampa events, and they have unique capabilities that help you save time and money in the planning and execution of your next event. Don't delay. Call these pros today at 813-621-4700 or check out their website at extravaganzaproductions.com. Tell them JP sent you, and they'll provide a free initial consultation for your event. Extravaganza Productions, the best of the business. Hey, if you love golf and the new Top Tracer virtual golf experiences that have taken the golf world by storm, well, you're going to love the new Top Tracer range at Rogers Park in Tampa. It combines the fun of competing virtually on the world's greatest courses like Pebble Beach or St. Andrews with an outdoor range experience to track your ball, not just hitting it to that net. I love it. They have great brand new spacious covered bays, huge fans blowing down. It's very enjoyable even when it's hot. So grab your golf buddies. Great price, $25 an hour up to $45 at peak times. Balls are included, and you can also play the new short course for just $9. It's all at rogersparkgolf.net. To reserve a bay, go to rogersparkgolf.net. I'll see you there.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the great folks at the Golden Diamond Source. Don't forget, guys, that's a great place for you to shop as well, not just for the ladies. Go look at their watch selection, their tie clip selection. Remember cufflinks? Yeah, cufflinks are back in. So get you some sparkly cufflinks as well.
Man, I love me some cufflinks.
Oh, nice little accoutrement.
So classy.
Yeah.
Unlike me in so many ways.
Yeah. Get a little sparkle to you guys.
Yeah.
And they have a great staff.
The squirter's going right in here.
There you go. It's the Golden Diamond Source for men too, 3800 Alberton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. A couple of comments here before we get to our absolute.
Hey, real quick, as we were getting into fantasy football talk with Tito, he just texted me during the break. Hollywood Brown, Chiefs wide receiver, out for the season.
Out for the season?
Apparently, he's going to have surgery on his knee on Monday.
Ooh, Xavier Worthy stock just went up. Yeah. I think I saw this morning somebody dissed Xavier Worthy. He's just a speed guy.
One of the Bengals defensive backs. Yeah,
super smart. That was super smart.
Was
brilliant. Yeah. So that's we'll get to picks here. That's one of my lead pipe locks as we go through it. But the Golden Diamond Source, head on over there. Yeah, we'll start with I think what has to be, and it's so easy, it's bothering me, right? Kansas City, a 5.5-point favorite over the Bengals. The Bengals are bad. Like, they're bad. No, don't fool yourself. They've got some issues just with their entire concepts offensively, and Joe Burrow is not what we thought he was. You know, I think there's issues there. And Kansas City looks so damn good. 5.5, that's it. It almost feels like a trap game, Timmy, but I'm going to go.
It does.
You're going to give it to me. I'm taking it. The Steelers getting points at Denver. Like, what are we doing? Like, Bo Nix is a rookie quarterback. Mike Tomlin treats those bitches bad. And that Steelers defense is for real.
Yeah.
I get points in the better team. Yeah. And I think Justin Fields is going to be a very successful quarterback for the Steelers. I think he fits them perfectly. The way he runs, they'll get him out on the edges to do the things he does well. Yep. I love the Steelers this week. Love the Steelers. Again, the better team getting points and almost a touchdown, 6.5. Memphis at Florida State. Until FSU shows they can play, why would I think otherwise? I made money off them on 2 games, thankfully, because the spreads have been ridiculously large. So I'm going to go ahead and keep rolling with anybody who's playing Florida State and getting points, and that's Memphis at 6.5. I'm hoping that they'll win the game, but yeah, there you go. All right, Buccaneer prop bets, Timmy. A lot of them are now on Hard Rock as much as I would like. Bucky Irving, I don't see a rushing number for him, but whatever it is, go over because it's going to be less than 20 or right around 20. So I'm going over Bucky Irving rushing numbers. I'm going over Chris Godwin receiving numbers. Right now, it's at 61.5. Now, you can use the alternate receiving yards to get him up to 79 yards, and that's a plus 180, almost doubling your money. So I would look at the alt receiving yards for Chris Godwin. I think he's going to have a huge day against this Detroit secondary. And I'm going to bet Mike Evans over as well, even though I know that they think Carlton Davis can cover him. Over receiving yards for Mike Evans, which is 68.5. Another gimme, it seems like. And I'll look at some of the Lions numbers as well. They've got David Montgomery over 55.5. I'm going over 55.5. I think he'll have a good day running the ball against the Buccaneers defense with Kalijah Kancey not playing again. I think they might have a good day. Baker Mayfield's over under is 264.5. I got to go over on this number because the Lions' pass defense has been so bad. And Jared Goff's number is over 268. I go over on both of those. I think there's going to be a lot of points scored in this game because the secondaries are going to struggle. Antoine Winfield's not playing. You might see a lot of Tyreek Thunderberg playing his first game as a Buccaneer. So I think all passing numbers for the most part are going to be over in those games. So I like a lot of those. I'm on Ross St. Brown as well. His receiving numbers over 80.5. I'm going over that as well. And I'd look at Sam Laporta, who did not have a good game last week. His number over under is 51.5. I think he'll go over that number as well. So love them. Pay me later. What do you got, Timmy? You got anything fun for me?
I've got a fun prop bet. It's not Bucks related, but it's definitely NFL related, JP. And I don't know how this is out there. This, like you said, there's always questionable ones that look like they're like no brainers, and you don't understand how this is a thing, and you have to go with it. It is Lamar Jackson versus the Raiders over 218.5 passing yards. The Raiders
are awful defensively.
Are horrible, and they allowed. I forgot what the number was now. I had it memorized earlier. Look, Jackson put up 273 against the Chiefs.
Yeah,
in week 1.
You've got
the Raiders are horrible. They have no pass rush. Well, I don't know what happened to Max Crosby. He forgot where the quarterback stands, apparently. But
he ain't standing this week.
Dude, he's got Mark Andrews. Anywhere. He's got Isaiah Likely. He's got Zay Flowers. He may hit 300 against the Raiders.
I love that number. Absolutely. Yeah. Love that number. Yeah. All right. Comments. Christopher Cole. You can keep our music going. ESPN didn't even mention that Tua had 3 interceptions before the first half, and one was a pick six. That. Yeah, because it was we got a melodrama, and it's life and death. It's life and death. Tua almost died last night.
I mean, I'm sorry he got hurt, right? We touched on this at the beginning, but come on, ESPN.
Jiminy Christmas. Who's this? Pate? Start 3 full PPR out of Joe Mixon, Jahmyr Gibbs, Rashee Rice, Kenneth Walker, and Jordan Mason. Full PPR. Do I get a pick? But we start 3 of these. I'm going to start Jahmyr Gibbs. I think it's going to be an offensive shootout. Anything with Bucks, I would go with.
Rashee Rice?
Yeah, Rashee Rice. Yes, you pissed off too many people, and now Hollywood Brown's out. He's going to get a lot of targets.
Who did the Seahawks play? Might go Kenneth Walker, too.
I just Kenneth Walker on everything. He's so freaking good. Thank you for that. Sorry, we'll ask Jeff next time.
Yeah.
I heard Kyle Morlock made an awesome catch in practice. The whole team was jumping around and all excited, so maybe he might have a good game. Okay, James, I think we've decided that anything happens in an FSU practice is bad because it's bad on bad.
Right.
I think I'm so down on FSU. I'm sorry.
Well, at least you're not the homer that's just optimistic about everything. I'd rather you be like you are than like that, like Cowboys fans.
Right? Christopher Cole says, does Miami call Tom Brady if Tua can't play?
No.
Oh no, Brady isn't in shape and lost even more weight and looks fragile. I think after week 1 in the booth, he's looking to go back to playing, and I'll say that.
Oh, he'll be all right.
I finally went back and watched some of that.
Yeah.
Holy moly!
I think he'll be okay. It was just, I wouldn't say it was bad. I just thought it was awkward.
Feels like a diversity hire to me.
What diversity is he? Is he too handsome?
Dude, come on. Figure it out.
Oh, God.
Have you seen a lot of white guys get hired lately? No.
Reverse diversity.
It's just, yes, thank you. We're now in the minority.
What's
you haven't wondered?
What's diversity? I think it's an old wooden ship.
Oh, that's such a good line. I love it. James says, I'm glad I'll be unable to watch the FSU game at noon on Saturday. I had a bad feeling about this game. Oh, I can't wait to watch it and yell. I'm over it. Recon Scout says Mike McDaniels looks high.
He always looks high.
Doesn't he, though? And when he talks,
I think he's awesome, man. I want him to coach the Cowboys.
You know, he is a recovering addict.
Oh, he is big time for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. In case you didn't know. Not that
did you know he's also considered a minority hire?
Yes.
You see that list? And I was like, wait, what? He's the whitest guy I've ever seen in my life.
Right.
And somehow he's considered a minority hire.
Yes.
Because he's got like an African-American great-grandfather or something.
And folks, there's nothing wrong with diversity.
No.
What's wrong was the focus on it. We're having lists now and putting Mike McDaniel on as a diversity minority hire. Are you effing kidding me?
I love it.
It's like, what are you doing? Like in sports, we got minority lists. Like, and you know who hates it the most? The minorities.
The minorities.
They hate it. They hate the Rooney Rule. Hate it.
Yeah. It's not doing anybody
We feel good about doing it. The virtue signaling is making me feel really good. Woo. Yes, I'm not racist. Woo.
Go ask Brian Flores how that's working out for everybody.
Yeah. Oh my God. Michael Sorgo said, I just heard the press conference from Liam about week 1 and the Lions. If he practiced what he preached, he is our guy. He really impresses me. Yeah, Michael, I was there yesterday. Actually have a little snippet there. We're over. Tim will get mad at me. He's good. He's good in the, but Dave Canales was great in the press room too. And he improved the offense. He improved it, but man, this guy, Liam Cohen, he knows what he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. I love it. It might, we'll see if he can coach around injuries this week. This is, to me, one of the hardest things to do in the NFL is to scheme and coach around injuries. You lost your right tackle with Aiden Hutchinson coming at you. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? So I think I think he's up for it. We'll see. All right. Thank you, Timmy. Great job. Thank you for all the my God, 2,509, bro. Up there.
You're up to 10,000 on Twitter right now.
What the hell's going on? Well, we love you people. And
my beard.
Finally, we get our due. We love you people. We do it each and every day, 10 to 12. Please don't be a stranger. Come back again. Monday is going to be one hell of a show, folks. I can guarantee you that. Knowles, Gators, Bucks, all that stuff going to be there. And we cover it all for 2 hours each and every morning, 10 to 12. You can catch us on YouTube anytime. You can catch us on your podcast anytime this goes as a podcast. So follow us on Apple and Spotify. All you new folks, you don't want to miss it each and every day. We'll see you on Monday. Have a great weekend, everybody.